Good day, good evening, good afternoon, good night, depending upon where you are, and peace, family, as Young Pharaoh says. I wanted to say a couple of things. I'll see where this conversation takes us. My YouTube channel, Ascending Bonds of Consciousness, is about doing that. It's about ascending our consciousness beyond, really is technically beyond the attachments, and the bonds of loyalty that we seem to have for this system that we happen to be born in. It's a new time. It's a new area. We're in the age of Aquarian, and that's exposure of the truth. The truth. That's a good thing, and I'm really happy to be alive. I feel like it's a beautiful time to be here. So, there's certain things that have been disrupting the peace in the world, the pandemic being one, and these fictitious uh, stands for justice being, we do know that all life matters. I do understand the premise behind saying that Black Lives Matter. And the point that I want to make to that is be careful what group you're supporting. And people may not like me saying that, certain people, because I'm a Black person. I'm very happy and proud to be what I am. And I do realize that racism, it does definitely exist in the world that we live in. It's just that human rights to me is more important than anything, because that fairness and justice and equality for all seems to be lacking, and that's where I say there's a hidden agenda and there's levels to this ish. And so we have to be very careful of why we're supporting certain groups. And I know that we get very excited, because me, I definitely one of them, when when white people would say, well, all lives matter. And I'll be like, yeah, but I understand. What I'm saying is always read the about. In any organization that you choose to support, always read what they are about. Because I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was saying that we were speaking on Black Lives Matter. And I was telling my point of view is that it's a human issue. And I don't understand how come anytime we're fighting as Black people for rights that we get overshadowed by other organizations. And I froze. I could see that I froze, which means it's probably dark. Anywho, the human issue is that everyone should be treated fairly based on being a human being. If I am giving the same tools, if I'm given the same tools as you're given, which means that I could I could learn just like you. It doesn't matter what my sexual preference is. That to me is irrelevant. It's a human issue first. Why do we always seem to piggyback off of other issues which overshadow the human issue? And it now becomes the issue of everyone else except for us. I don't understand that. Like, even when it came to um, the uh, the feminist movement, but I really don't necessarily get it. Like, I do understand that women should be paid the same amount as a man if they're doing the same job. Okay, fine. I get that. right? That's that. If they're doing the same job, they should get paid the same amount. I understand that. I agree with that. Because once again, it's a human issue. I don't want to be against anything. I want to be for, just like I want to be pro life. Pro life is a beautiful thing. Pro life means that we continue the process of evolving. Yes, that's a beautiful thing. That's why I don't agree with the vaccinations. You need to investigate what they're putting in the vaccinations. And if they have a vaccination out already, when it takes at least a year and a half to get a vaccination appropriately approved, why then are they giving vaccinations to certain parts of Africa? And I think I'm pretty sure it was created in Britain. And why are these vaccinations being distributed like this when it has not been a year and a half? That is awfully suspicious. And even if it is a year and a half, I don't want to be the test dummy because first of all, they're supposed to be testing on humans. They're not testing and I'm not saying that you should be testing on animals. I'm just saying they're not doing the appropriate testing. I feel that that's where they definitely need to look up Dr. Shiva's method of testing because you don't have to sacrifice an animal and you don't have to sacrifice a human. You can actually do it based on a system, which makes more sense. It definitely makes more sense. Anywho, this is going to be a short video because I know people don't want to just look to the dark, even though you may not even want to look at me either. Yes. I don't know what this computer is doing. But yes, I think that Black Lives Matter, and justice and equality during the civil rights movement always it seemed to have been overshadowed by other movements, and that's where I have a problem. Why don't we just name it a human issue, knowing that if we have human rights, everybody, everybody will be treated fairly. To treat you like a human being. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is. That doesn't matter. But I'm not going to take on the ideology and belief system that is considered to be a sickness as normal. Meaning, if they don't have all the tools, if a person is, how could you say, have a disability, I cannot expect that person with the disability to operate exactly like someone who doesn't have a disability. You understand what I'm saying? That person doesn't have all the tools. Just because they don't have all the tools does not mean that they should not be treated like a human being. Being treated like a human being is the most important factor. We need to eliminate the they. We need to eliminate the underlying group that has a hidden agenda. And it really does seem to be the Democratic Party. I mean, young Pharaoh broke it down. And he does a really good job at it. Anywho, that's all I have to say for now. Peace, peace, peace. Love, love, love. Joy, joy, joy. And truth. Please don't forget the truth.